What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to tell you why the Philadelphia Eagles are the most underrated team in the NFL. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, as the 2022 NFL season is very close to being underway, I need to talk to you about the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a team that is not getting the love that they deserve. And when you talk about NFL predictions, record predictions, everybody has the Dallas Cowboys winning this division. But I need to talk to you about the Philadelphia Eagles and some of the moves that they made this offseason, because truly, in my estimation, I think the Philadelphia Eagles are one of the best teams in football, not just the NFC, not just the NFC East. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles have what it takes to be a championship contender. Some of the moves that they made this offseason in free agency, some of the moves that they made in the draft, putting this team together. I believe in Nick Sirianni, even though he might be a little more out there than I really like. I think he has what it takes to be a championship winning head coach. And Nick, I just want to talk to you a little bit about it, but I want to break it down first. This offense, when you take a look, starting with the quarterback position, Jalen Hurts made that massive leap last year. The Philadelphia Eagles, they made the playoffs. They ran into the buzzsaw that is Tom Brady in the playoffs. You know what you're going to get when you face him, and the Eagles just did not have what it takes to really match up with what they were able to do. Definitely a step in the right direction, but not the outcome that Eagles fans were looking for. Jalen Hurts made that progression, and I just want your thoughts. What are your thoughts on Jalen Hurts moving forward?
Yeah, I think Jalen Hurts is going to be what defines this offense, because you look at the surrounding cast, you have solid running backs, you have a fantastic wide receiver room. Dallas Goddard is coming into his own and looks like one of the top tight ends in the NFL, and that offensive line, they are very strong up front. So Jalen Hurts is the guy who has to put all the pieces together. It's up to him to not only command the run game like he did last year and work with Devonta Smith, but now he has another true number one wide receiver in AJ Brown. And this is going to help out everybody else. They are going to be able to have a lot more flexibility in the route combinations, in the play style, in the formations that they line up in. I think that's going to lend itself as long as Jalen Hurts does what he needs to. He needs to really hone in on his passing ability and really not rely on his legs as much. He needs to sit in the pocket and read defenses a little bit more. I want to see that progression from him this season, because if he's going to be an elite quarterback in the NFL, he has to play like one. You can't be one-dimensional unless your name's Lamar Jackson. You have to have the full package. So Jalen Hurts, there's a lot riding on him if the Eagles are going to be successful this year.
I agree 100%. And I want to point out, you mentioned Devonta Smith, you mentioned AJ Brown, but they also have Quez Watkins. They also have Jalen Reagor. They also have Zach Pascal coming over from the Indianapolis Colts. They also have Greg Ward. I mean, those guys are functional wide receivers that can come in and offset your top two wide receivers. I know that you're kind of looking at me a little funny right now, but I think that those guys can really play significant roles when it comes to offsetting AJ Brown and Devonta Smith. I think that they have what it takes as a full, complete offense to take this team to the next level. Obviously, Devonta Smith and AJ Brown are the focal points in the passing game. They are going to be the guys that you rely upon. But Jalen Reagor has skill. I know Eagles fans don't believe it anymore, just as Patriots fans didn't believe in N'Keal Harry. But the fact of the matter is Jalen Reagor still has skill. He still has what it takes to be a top-end receiver. Without that pressure of being a number two or even a number one on this team, I think that could really bolster him to reach that next step. You talked about Dallas Goedert. I think now being the full season without Zach Ertz on this roster is really going to propel him to take that next step as well. He has the full reign of this offense. He has the trust with Jalen Hurts. He has that rapport with this offense. And I believe that he's going to be a really, really big player for them moving forward. And then, Nick, you also talked about the offensive line. They made mass improvements, okay? They got your boy Beef Jurgens to replace Jason Kelce when he decides to move on. They have Isaac Seumalo, they have Landon Dickerson, and then obviously the bookends are really, really solid. This offense as a whole is definitely something that the Eagles fans should be very proud of. But I want to move over to the next side of the ball, and that being the defense. When you take a look, especially at this front seven, Nick, I want you to tell us a little bit about what we saw from Jordan Davis and directly what he's going to be able to do for this defensive line.
Yeah, well, even going back to last year real quick, we saw Fletcher Cox take over after Brandon Graham went down, and this defensive line held strong for the most part. That's with one of their pillars there. Now you have Brandon Graham back, and like you said, they added Jordan Davis, the most feared defensive tackle now in the NFL outside of Aaron Donald. Jordan Davis proved in his first preseason game that he can get double or triple teamed, and he will still get in that backfield. He will still hunt that quarterback down, and it doesn't matter if that quarterback is running outside the pocket and upfield, he will continue. That motor does not stop, and Jordan Davis is going to be so tough, especially next to Fletcher Cox. I don't think that any offensive line in this league is going to be able to hold up all game long against this defensive line. They are going to get so much pressure and possibly a lot of sacks. It's going to be up to this edge rush as well. They got to keep that pressure on the quarterback. And when you add Hassan Reddick, a guy who has had over 10 sacks in the last 2 seasons and got insane pressures as well, that is an incredible addition. And you add Kyzir White, a great mic'd up linebacker, and Nakobe Dean, who knows how to get in that backfield as well. They have all the pieces in this front seven to do what they need to be an elite defense in the NFL. This is a highly underrated defense. They've made so many amazing overhauls in the spots they needed to. I don't see a weakness on this defense, and they need to be feared as one of the strongest defenses in the NFL.
I agree 100%. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles have what it takes to really, really get after opposing offenses. They can just absolutely demolish you in the running game. They can cover on the back end with some of these guys, James Bradberry and Darius Slay really being those guys that can lock down defenders at times and be stalwarts in what we expect to be a high octane flying around type of defense. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles have really taken a look at themselves and said, these are the areas we needed to improve, and then just finding pieces that really fitted that mold, fitting what they needed to improve upon, and just plugging them in and watching them go to work. I think this is going to be one hell of a team. When you talk about all 3 facets of the game, the Philadelphia Eagles are going to rank in the top 10, maybe even top 5 of all of these statistical categories. Nick, I just want to talk to you about one more thing. The Philadelphia Eagles made the playoffs last year. We covered that part. They also have the second best strength of schedule in the NFL, only behind the New York Giants in their division, a team that they get to face twice a year. Washington, a team they get to face twice a year. The Dallas Cowboys going through their own struggles currently. I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are in the prime position to take over and get a top spot in the playoffs this year. I just want your thoughts on that.
Absolutely. I totally agree. To me, having a strong strength of schedule in the regular season is going to help them be one of the top teams in the NFC. And honestly, I believe the only way the Eagles have success in the postseason is if they have home field advantage. To me, Jalen Hurts is going to operate his best on his own turf, and he's going to struggle in enemy territory. It's a different atmosphere. We saw that last year. They got absolutely demolished by Tom Brady and company, and the same will happen if they go to LA, they go to Tampa Bay, they go to even New Orleans. There are a lot of strong teams that are going to be at home, and they need to be one of those teams if they are going to succeed.
I'm glad you said that, because oftentimes we don't take into account home crowds, and Philadelphia Eagles fans, listen, I can't stand the city of Philadelphia, so for me to even be talking as highly as I am about the Eagles right now truly shows how much I truly believe in this franchise and where they're headed. I think Philadelphia Eagles fans are obnoxious, but they're very passionate, and they know how to rattle opposing teams. They know how to get Lincoln Financial Field rocking in Philadelphia, and I believe that in January, possibly into February, they can really get things done and rattle opposing quarterbacks. But I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of the Philadelphia Eagles this year. Let us know if you also believe that they're one of the best teams in football. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That'll be all. Peace and love.